Yeah. So we thought, seeing as we'd gone through quite a bit last week about what the space was going to look like, whether we should recap on what each of you want from this experience of working together. Not to recreate the Reno, but to help other people see the Reno.
So you're looking at through our eyes, how we visualise it for them, not the actual Reno, but what we like.
Yeah, and also just your own kind of what you want to achieve by being involved in putting that together. Why are you here? Because we haven't talked about that actually. It's sort of like we're making all of these decisions together, but it's really good to kind of remember together why you want to do this and what it means to you. Because we did, we started off last week when we were talking about the afterlife, the afterlife of the Reno men, and everyone had some really amazing kind of thoughts about that. So I thought it'd be really good to start that way as well. Want to start? We'll go with this way around this time?
No.
Do you want to do massive question?
It's a really...
Well, for one, it's never been done before, has it?
No.
On a club.
Yeah. From one person's side.
Especially in Moss Side.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing.
It's never been done before. So that's a starting point.
And we're doing it because we're carrying on from the dig as well, so obviously it's a...
Yeah.
Yeah, because it couldn't have just ended that, could it? It couldn't have just ended at the dig.
Yeah.
We've dug it up, we've seen it, and it's gone back in. Now it's carried on.
We know what we found and what we got from it.
Yeah, and as well, the amount like our age group that went in there, but people like Mia Musa, Debbie Laird's granddaughter, Mary Trigg's grandson, they weren't even born, and they were part of it.
And now know about it.
And now know about it, so it's something for them, again, to carry it on.
Like bringing the community back together again.
These kids weren't even born.
I was going to say that, from my point of view, it's historical. It's a bit of history, social history, because of events that were happening 50s, 60s, 70s, through to the 80s. Right? And part of the social events that were happening, right, brought us to the Reno, right, because there was a lot of clubs we couldn't get in, right, but then we could go in the Reno and feel like, this is where we are, this is our home, if you like.
We're brown!
Right? But it wasn't just...
Oh, I know that. But it was somewhere for us to get.
Yeah, there's a lot of white guys went down,
And black.
And black, yeah. So, for me, it was a bit of social history, and that could be handed down, to Myra's children. Myra's children will comment on that as they get older.
Grandchildren.
And drip it down.
Yeah.
Right, so I think it's something that will never be lost now. Now it's out there. It's like taking the gin out of the bottle. You're not going to put it back in again.
For me, it's a mission as well, that people like us can do things like this. Do you know what I mean? It's to break that
barrier.
Yeah,
well,
to break that barrier.
Mark, isn't it?
Yeah, and that our kids and our grandkids and other people's grandkids can see that we do this, and they can do this if they want to. Yeah, there's an avenue in.
And it's a thing as well. Have you noticed? It's an age difference. So I can't just that little bit older. And then you've got the younger ones that, although we knew, I didn't know Suzie, but I knew Suzie, and we went back and we knew people from the past, you've rekindled, whether it's here, which for me it is, but a little bit of people who haven't seen you for a long time have come back in. Also, the other thing is that my daughter's putting things up, my younger daughter's putting things up from here, and she's got people saying to her, wow, this is brilliant. When can we go and see something? And didn't your mum have an exciting time? And I'm thinking, well, for them that must be how it sounds, because it sounds a little bit. Some of them have never mixed with black people.
Yeah.
You're bringing all different ages and different cultures back together.
Yeah.
I actually got that from the marquee night And I told you, there were students there.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is amazing, I wish I'd have been born in that time.
Yeah.
Right? And they were just loving it, the whole experience of it. So again, you know, it's put out there.
Yeah.
Plus I've looked at a different thing, like it's Phil and you, Susie, putting up our black history. I found that fascinating. So I've gone back into that because it's made me question
what you wasn't taught.
What wasn't taught, different steps. I watched the thing about, it's not going off it, but it's interesting because of a mulatto girl. I watched the Creole. The Creole fascinates me because of the mix that they've got. That's the mix that I've got, but I don't know any of my heritage. It's stopped at my dad. And I've had to delve into paperwork and find things that he had when he passed away. And I've been astounded as to what my background was, even though the colour of my skin's like this. It's been very interesting. And, you know, we're breaking bonds, we're breaking boundaries with what you're doing.
And also the language, I deliberately swear and things like that. And I deliberately encourage people to swear because that's another barrier
I
as
try
well.
not to.
Oh, fuck off. Yeah.
But you know, going on the Black history, right, there was a programme on the radio yesterday about Queen Victoria. Now her grandmother, right, was African. Right, she was an African queen. Now we were never taught that.
No.
There you go.
Right, were you taught it? Did you know
I
that?
don't even believe it now. What did you
Honestly, there's pictures of her.
that. She brought her to England, didn't she?
Yeah.
She brought her to England.
Was that Charlotte?
She was like, in a way, not quite, but she was a little bit like a servant. She was a governess.
No, I'm talking about that she was an African queen, right, and she was married to Queen Victoria's grandfather, and she was actually a British queen, you know, through marriage. Right? Yeah, honestly, that surprised me. I had my daughter in class, I didn't know that. But yeah, but I've heard it before. Right, so it's again, it's opening doors, right? And I think we're doing the same thing, opening doors to other people, right?
And opening
to
doors
think
for
about,
ourselves as well.
but also to think about, you know, the history of everybody, because we've got Trinidadians, Jamaicans, Africans, right? You know,
It's
just in this group.
Pot, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely a big melting pot.
It's a
And
melting
we've got
pot.
paddies, right? We've got Irish on ours, right? You've got Irish on yours.
And I've got Geordies.
Yeah, it's a massive cultural melting pot. It really is. And
Well,
that's good to open the eyes of others.
That's what talked about though with the flags, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, because every sort of like mixed person is really mixed.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, really mixed. So yeah.
You know, you'd have 2 flags up there. You could have 3 because of where you've been. Have you been to the countries that you were born in? What's your history from that? That was just opening up to what you said. You know, we all went down there, but we all went for different reasons. And we went to enlighten about the club and all the memories that were in. You know, it's funny because you think you remember everything as well, and then somebody will start talking, you'll go away and you think, is that really there? And then when I've sat down and looked at it, looked at the blueprint and everything, I thought, yeah, it was really like that. But sometimes we're so high or a bit drunk or whatever adrenaline you were on.
And we're young as well.
You didn't remember it, you know, different times. You might have had a row that night, gone down there and thought, right, it's just getting your head together. With so many different aspects of why we were down there and so many different people. I mean, to be honest, we could be down there and see so many people and you'd be like that because you didn't speak to that person. You know, there was that mix of everything that went on. And that made it more, you know, that more interesting and whatever. But on the cultural side of it, it just opened it up for so many people to see what we were really like. But it's also made us think back to childhood and where you come from and who looked after you and where you went and what it's like today. Totally different environment and world that we're in today.
And to validate our own life through our own eyes, not through white middle class eyes, just telling us how, you know, like in relationship to their story.
Uh-huh.
This is our story in relationship to us.
But I think also, there are elements there that are lost today, like the characters that used to be there. You don't see characters like that these days.
Because
Everything's so clinical.
See them, so there probably is, but
Everything's so clinical, so clean now. Right? You don't see the characters. You know, there used to be a woman go down there, like, she must have been in the 70s then, I was only in my 20s, and she'd go, I feel hot tonight. Ooh! But she did it all
It was
the
full
time.
of characters, wasn't it?
There was loads.
Yeah.
There's another guy.
Assassin's one of my favourites, with his love beads and his no shoes.
Another guy I used to go down with, I said, give me a knife, right, before we get settled. Because I knew if it kicked off, he'd pull his knife off, so I used to take his knife off him. But I was the only one who could take his knife off him, right? But, you know, people like that, there's loads of things going on.
Sid Wolf.
Sid Wolf, another one. What a character Sid Wolf.
Oh, what an amazing,
No, but Sue like fools. We used to go and watch him on Sunday afternoon in the park. We thought he was wonderful till we see him in the arena completely off his rock.
Well, don't you think that's wonderful? That I see Sid in a different light to what you see him in. Because that's how we would see him down there. You know, he was a bricky one. He probably had a lot of falls. Demolition man. And you know what? You might have seen him drunk with his cans, but what a grafter! He was one of the guys that never did anything illegal. He worked. He was up them buildings. He was fantastic, but he was a character.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember? I'm not saying Rudolph. He used to wear all white, and his name will come to me.
A black guy.
Yeah, and he wore white. Everything was white or cream. He looked like he was on a cricket pitch. Ronald, he went to London.
A magistrate with his pants up his legs, do you remember him?
You know, there's just so many from that era and that time and things, and you get found away.
We would buzz off it all night, wouldn't we, as kids?
But from a historical point of view, like I say, you don't get those characters now.
No.
Right? So it's good that, you know, kids can learn, hey, there are characters. It's okay to have, you know, vampire nature.
They must be around, it's just that they don't all congregate in one
because
There's no basement clubs like that.
the clubs are closing down, aren't they? The clubs are so high profile now. Right? You know,
if they won't
it's
get
the
in,
elite.
won't get
They
in.
just wouldn't get in.
Like in our day.
Yeah.
But for different reasons.
What Barry?
I'm saying for different reasons, they won't get in today, but for our reasons, it's our hair, our colour. Right,
You stood with that person, but you know them, that person's got a reputation. You know, you're just saying hi, you're just a friend. You went to school with them half of the time, and then, you know, the divide was Reno-Nile, but sometimes you would mix and see them people, and people would go, oh, why are you chatting to that one? And, do you know what I mean?
And if you went in the Nile, you were scraping a barrel.
But for me, when I was younger, you see, my dad used to go in the Nile, and he was very good friends with Sonny till he passed away. So I could go up there and get a couple of bob off my dad on a Saturday night. I think, right, just put that. And he stood in the same place for I don't know how many years, and they all knew him. So I'd go in there, he'd go, hey princess, and get me a drink, and then a little sweaty quid, and I'd see you later, Dad. And I'd go in the Reno.
That was a fair amount.
He was a barber, wasn't he? He could afford to give me a couple of bob.
Dionne, you've got a slightly different reason because you never went to the Reno, but both your parents did.
Yeah, so that's an aspect why I'm here. For me, I think it's just, growing up, it was a good time of my life. I remember a lot from then. And then my mum and dad split up, so I've sort of like, when you brought this back alive, and I remember stories from the Reno and all that. That's it for me. Just reminiscing back on the childhood, really.
But it's nice, like you said, it's happy memories. It was a happy time.
Yeah, it was crazy, but it was happy crazy, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
But there again, there must be lots of people who know you because of your mum and dad.
Yeah, of course, I can't walk down the street without getting shouted Desmond. Nobody knows my name, they just know me as Desmond.
He was a character, your dad as well.
Yeah, crazy, still is.
Yeah.
And that's brilliant.
But, you know, we all had these experiences, didn't
Yeah.
we? I can remember walking from Wythenshawe to the Reno.
Jesus Christ.
I was stoned. It was like, right, where are we going? Go to the Reno. Right. Off.
So when the
How long
buses
did
had
that
stopped.
take?
An hour and a half.
Yeah, really, it's not that bad.
It's straight,
Think
isn't
it's
it?
straight up.
Yeah. Another time I've gone down and I was with a group of lads. We were in a car and the front wheels fell off. Right. But we're like that, no, because we've got all this stuff in the car. No jacks, we had to lift the front up manually. Like, well, someone put the wheel and changed it, and dropped it down and then off again, straight to the Reno. Well, you know, things like that, they're memories that I have. And for me, they were just fun times.
Yeah, definitely. Just fun
I've gone
time.
down there in fancy dress.
Have you?
Yeah. Been to a work still and went down as higher offer. And we put a coat over me, stood at the door like that and they're like, really? And I'm going, yeah.
And I mean, people like Gagne, you know, like you know, your real granddad Jamaican cardigan on, and his flat cap, even though he was African, with his, you know, with your pockets at the front that were full of his pound wraps. Go buy your weed off him, and he had him in his pocket, in his old granddad pocket.
And we used to get drinks out of guys who'd won in the gambling room. I don't know why, they used to come out and buy us drinks, didn't they?
But when they'd won, or
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
You could hear them slamming
The domino.
Yeah.
Goldie and Nikita Costa.
And you know Nikita Costa's still alive?
Yeah.
Is he really?
Leroy's seen him not so long ago. Well, he must be, but he always said.
It's in his 80s.
Oh God, yeah.
In his 80s.
It'd be great to somehow capture these characters, you know.
If you ever seen the size of him, you wouldn't believe it.
Really?
Yeah. And the swagger, didn't he, when he walked?
Absolutely.
You know, in a musical or something like that, you know, just to have a glimpse of all these ghosts of the characters that have obviously stayed with us.
Pictures out there.
Which will go back to your tomb thing.
Yeah,
Right,
the
no,
two.
like you said, the ghosts of these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you were talking about, that sometimes it felt like a dream, which is, you know, that sort of
Yeah.
middle
Well, yeah,
state.
I bet
you know,
Sean could do something, you know.
Definitely we're going to be with
Even if
Sean.
it was really, you know, sort of ghostly and not like, you know, making the real person, but just a hint. Like you're all really describing physical things, aren't you, about the size and the clothes they were wearing.
You know, Nikita Costa was, he was there, wasn't he? And he was just part of it.
He was proper live.
The fashions changed, didn't they? Like, you know, like I'm 69, so you're a lot younger than me. So our fashions were different when we first started going down.
Yeah.
But the other thing that changed, it was shaft.
Yes.
All of a sudden, long leather coats come out.
Everybody had one.
It changed it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that was sort of like TV and cinema, wasn't it? All that coming out like
I
exploitation.
think that should definitely play a part.
Blackula
Enter
and all of that.
Enter the
That
Dragon.
was on last night.
Well, that was Sid Wolf's era, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Into the Dragon. And,
You conned us into believing he was really in the film. It was about 9.
but Ray Buller was better.
Was it?
He was proper.
Ray
character.
Buller?
Yeah, another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I think he went crazy as well, wasn't it? Fonzo, when he said that he went down there in his karate suit.
You see, for me, Fonzo coming down there must have been much later on,
It
because
was.
in
It
my
was,
time
yeah.
it wasn't for me.
Yeah,
It was
he's
down there, you
not
know.
my age, yeah.
It was Ray, Gilly.
Gilly,
Dr. German.
Yeah, Gilly. Oh, light skin, yeah, and the skill bit. Is that Gilly? No. I'm
Gilly with the
thinking-
funny eyes.
Yeah.
He went to Germany with
He's
Ray.
still there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roger King, people like that.
Oh,
you don't
Roger
see
King,
anymore.
massive
Roger was
Roger
big,
King,
but he was
wow.
a big character. Like
He's
big,
on the
soft bit.
memorial wall.
Oh, what a
It was a
soft
gentle
bit.
giant, wasn't
Yeah, he went out with my friend for years. He was massive. But it was all, drove taxis, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
that's right. God, that's a Ray from the
Yeah,
grave.
Do you remember the taxi rank that was just round the corner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they must have seen some characters
Must have
in and
done.
out of there, wasn't
Yeah. Cafe Roman.
Yeah.
The petrol station.
So it seems from what he's saying is that it's time is really important, because it's the different time periods that you've experienced from the Reno and the era that it was and the time that it is now for people like Dionne, or your grandchildren or your grandnieces and nephews, students who are interested in like what everything's going on, to see all of that time period as well. It's not like a linear, well, this happened this time, this time, this time. It's like this happened.
Just a continuation.
Yeah.
But the fashion's changed, and that's what dated it. Right? Because I told you I went down in the 60s, maybe 68. Right? And then it was like, you know, we wore suits. Dead smart, which was the fashion then. Right? And then you finished up going down in high-waisted pants, flares, and those, you know, thick-soled shoes. Platforms, yeah, you know, the feet of the bee's knees.
With your afro, because you wouldn't have had an afro in the 60s.
No, we had a skiffle in the 60s. We had a skiffle in the 60s, and you know, all of a sudden we've got this afro. It was like...
That's post-Black Power, isn't it? And
Yeah,
Black
yeah.
Power.
We used to wear...
Yeah.
We used to wear berets. And a black glove, single black glove. Because that's how it affected us.
We used to wear the dodgers and so on to our
It's almost like a uniform, innit?
Yeah. Well, that's where I got politicised, was in Marino by Tom and Paul and Phil and that, and Tony Atta. Because they already were prison and things.
Yeah,
They don't
Soul
know if
Dad
Tony
Brothers.
went to prison. But they already.
Soul Dad Brothers.
Yeah.
Right, that was a big one. Angela Davis was very big, you know, to us. Right. We can link with that, right? And we did. So you know, Black Power had from the very first one, the Olympic Games when they raised the fist, right? It had a profound effect on me.
Yeah, me too.
Right, and I thought, wow. Right.
That did, Roots did.
Oh, Roots was mine.
Yeah.
I didn't like Roots so much because I kept getting called Chicken George.
You just a sex machine. You progressed well.
and the Black Panthers at the graveside. Yeah. And Angela Davis.
Angela Davis.
Yeah.
She was a doll as well.
Yeah. And Young, Gifted and Black. She was about 9 and that was that. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they were more 70s.
Yeah,
weren't they?
70s.
Yeah.
So, you know,
but it did, it sort of gave you a sense of identity then, wasn't it? You know?
Absolutely, that's the word.
Yeah.
There's everything here.
Yeah.
From the start of the Reno to the end of it.
So that's what the Reno is, it's everything.
Yeah.
There's, that gave you the sense of black identity.
Yeah.
But when I went in the Reno, that gave me a sense of half-caste identity. It was proper cool now. I was proper in. I didn't even have to be cool.
Yeah. You were just the right
I
colour.
was just the right cool.
I can remember when my head when it first started half-caste.
Yeah.
And there was me, Tony Ferrari, we were walking on the road, we were expected to part. You know, the white guys walked up, expected to part and go around them. But we decided to walk through it, but it kicked off. And after that, we were like, no more, we were walking round. We will go through here.
Wow.
But I believe, and our ancestors to me, Barry, your generation, right, made it possible for the next generation coming up behind you.
And I love that image. I love that image that you just described.
Because we just stood our ground. You know, back in the day, you was like that. It just seems to all happen at once.
Yeah. Like an unspoken thing.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like an explosion of half-caste. And we actually called ourselves half-caste, don't mess with half-caste.
Yeah.
We are half-caste.
I found it really hard going to changing from half-caste to mixed race.
I'm not changing. I'm going to burn my brown. Yeah, no, exactly. Who the fuck made that decision? should.
I'd
Where
have
did
some
it come
cunt in a
from?
They
fucking
complained
office.
about the word cast.
Yeah, but for me, half-caste for me is my badge of honour.
No, it's not.
And then people started saying mixed parentage.
Yeah.
And I was thinking
Dual
everybody's
heritage.
fucking mixed
Yeah,
parentage.
so it
Everybody's got the same
doesn't make us
parents.
who we are
Makes
anymore.
sense.
We're putting
Exactly.
Yeah,
And people putting labels on us.
And then tell us we
Can't
can't
have
use
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know lots of people who are really offended by it.
They weren't born into
Older than me who won't even say the word.
I don't like it.
told
My
you.
kids pulled me up about it.
Yeah.
I said, the thing
I'm
is,
not
I was
offended
a
by
half-caste when I was born, and I grew up with that.
Yeah.
And somebody's telling me now
That you
that
can't
it's
say
not,
it.
I can't say
Yeah,
it's
I
not
know,
it's
it's so
incorrect.
fucking
Say what you want about
My
yourself.
children, you're still mixed race. You
Yeah.
know, why am I saying that to you? Well, Mum, I am. I said, no, why are you black? Why? I said, because I'm half and your father's black. As far as I'm concerned, my children are black. Don't call my children mixed race. My kids are black.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. You're
You know,
mixed down differently, and the class was always the same.
Yeah.
Because the children that are born to somebody who's mixed race and black.
Because if you look at the colour,
because
you
they're
know,
not the same.
Back in the day, I was like three-quarters.
Yeah, remember quarter cast, three
There
quarters.
was quarter cast, half-cast,
Three
three-quarter
quarter
cast.
cast.
Yeah.
Black.
Yeah, I used to get that. I used to do you quarter cast. Same half-cast.
Wait, where does Cooley come into it though? Cooley.
Cooley came into the 70s.
Yeah,
older.
yeah, and that was if you were mixed with like
Indian.
Indian,
And he looked like a Cooley Indian.
They'd call you Cooley.
If you had straight hair.
And that comes from Jamaica. And
Jamaica,
Yeah.
yeah. But my granddaughter is really pale skin, right, but loves her African roots. Right? And I say, you're black.
No, but she's not black because she's got a pair of
No, but she is black. For me, right, because it comes down from my dad to her, and she loves her African roots, right, she's black.
No, but she can't be because her grandmother.
Her colour's not black.
That's what I'm saying, and that's the trouble
Right.
where there's a lot
I'd have to say it to you,
between
black.
mixed
That guy
race people and
recently,
black.
wasn't there? The guy recently, the artist.
Oh, he identifies as black.
Oh, I'm not having that one. He wants
Fucking idiot. And a thief.
He got trouble because he gets
And a thief.
And a thief. Because that money was meant for someone of colour.
I
He
think
is
it's
of colour though.
What? A white
He's,
colour?
no, I don't think he is.
No, he's white.
He's fully
No,
white,
he's
but he
fully
identifies as
I read
black.
that.
And he's got in a little
He made it
Made it up
up
probably, but
when he decided to identify as black. May God kill me, I'm not lying.
I give all my children. and
No, he
grandchildren-
doesn't.
He doesn't even look like
I think the mums are like
They all know
God can't lie, let me tell you, because he ain't white.
No, I don't think
He's not white.
So
Definitely.
that tradition will carry on.
But he's poor mum.
When they're born like that, pick it
Older
up.
than her.
Yeah.
It's in Tallow Theatre, right? It's,
What is-
this guy is white.
That's his
Both his
name?
parents are white, and he's got an African name.
Oh.
But he does look
A little bit like he's got colour in it.
absolutely.
He looks quarter cast.
His lips and everything. Yeah.
No,
And he
he's
said
not
he
white.
grew up being treated as
If he
a
was
black.
black.
Because he was around black people.
Yeah.
Is he mentally ill?
No,
It's just cool with being.
it's just
It's
like-
interesting.
You have to read up on it.
Oh, we'll have
He's
to
not
write him
funny,
down
did he,
from there while I
I
Google
think
him when I
that's where
get
the
home.
issue is. Like, it's
Yeah.
less about the fact that he's identifying
Yeah,
with something.
that's
It's
fine.
more about the fact of the amount of money that he's gotten from.
Yeah, that should have been for, because whether he's fucking white, black, pink or whatever colour he is, he's been brought up by two white parents. He's not experienced a true black
But
identity.
Steve Cotier was.
No, but he's
No, but
black.
he's,
He is
yeah,
black,
he's
yeah,
just,
but you know,
he's just
We're talking about a guy
half-caste. He's
who's we think was white. That's what we're saying. Not.
cooking
looks
for
a bit,
me.
he's supposed
So,
to be
for
white.
me, like our Barry's kids, right, are Chinese. Their mother's Chinese, right. He's forecast, if you like, right. So they've got a proper mixed blood in there.
No, absolutely. Why I think we're interesting, right? I don't think that any of the mixes after us is that interesting.
No way you say that. How outrageous is that?
Oh, you're right, though, right.
Because we're the first generation. We've not fucking occurred on mass before.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Which is what I was
There's
telling you
hundreds
when we all
of
got
myths,
together.
Whatever now.
Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying.
In the 90s,
So we are, yeah,
when
we are
Rachel worked,
special.
But you know, like when what's her name? Myra said she got called a nigger's mom and things like that. But when half middle-class white women started having kids to black guys, middle-class black guys, that kind of ended, it all went all right then.
Yeah.
Because there's loads of them.
Because
you know what I
they
mean? And, but before that, in our generation, we don't fucking know who we are. Nobody knows who we are. There's fucking banners in the street, no blacks, no Irish, no dog. There's fucking things going on that we're supposed to be born mentally unwell. Don't shag a black man. Getting spat in our pram. That don't happen after our generation because we've happened. That's why we're interested.
Yeah, because I'm glad you said that about being mentally unwell, because they did. They all thought, right, half-caste were, you know,
Yeah.
screwed
There's a mix with black and white.
In South Africa, they had separate prisons with nobody guarding them and all whatever because they were seen as animals because they were mixed. That's no word of a lie in the 70s.
That's like where mixed breed comes from, that word. That was
That
derogatory,
comes
wasn't it?
from-
I hated that, because you knew it was someone being derogatory towards you, not a nice thing to
half
say.
was just your colour.
Yeah.
Half-breed was...
That was offensive,
Yeah, that was...
And that was usually black people actually who said half-breed. It's
Yeah.
more of a
Yeah,
black
it was,
word.
yeah.
Or two-nation bitch.
Licorice also.
Two Nation, that's got to be off an American.
No, that was off Black Girls in School.
Wow, Two Nation bitch.
That's what we recorded in school.
Half-caste.
Yeah.
But, like, my Auntie Sabina, she's what, 75 now? Or coming up to 75. Her mum was mixed race.
Yeah.
When you think back then,
Yeah.
and we had another auntie, Miriam, she was mixed race.
Yeah, I
Half-caste
find
as
that
well,
really,
so-
really interesting, you know, when it's...
What, I'd love to know what it was like for them.
How did they
Yeah.
go
Back
through?
then.
Yeah, what did they go
And their
through?
mum and dad.
Yeah.
I found it hard growing up, and I was born in Hillblue, which is Russia. Then we moved to Moss Side, and I grew up in a predominantly black area. My neighbours were black, or West Indian. So as growing up, I grew up with the Patswell, with the how we would, certain ways we would eat, we would wash, we would do everything, and then come out and somebody would go, but you're not black, you're white. And all I ever wanted, and you know, at this great, people would probably, if they see this or whatever, go, but I always wanted to be black, because my root, to me, was black, but I couldn't understand because my skin's pale. Do you know what I mean? And then, as a throw in, if you know my children, they're all different shades, my kids, but you want to see my grandkids. Wow. Lorraine's granddad is African. And he's dark, and Lorraine's paler than me. Her babies come out so dark, you won't believe it. So it's different. How are they going to feel? She got it at school because of the features being so Negroed facially, but very pale. Micah, my grandson who lived in Lincoln, he got beat up for his heritage. Now if you look at him, he's pale, but he's got the eyes and the hair. And he had a terrible time living down there. He still talks about it now, saying it was hard as a teenager growing up in Lincoln because the somehow silence knew I was black, but the skin was white. So the generations of how things go.
Yeah.
We have
How old is he?
27.
And that still happened to him.
Yeah, but
How
when
old
he
was he when he got
when that
beaten
happened,
up?
he's been left the country now. So he was in his say 2021. So he's been out of the country now for 3 years, 2-3 years.
But also moving away from a city, you know, like probably a big white
We did get it from both sides, so I can remember getting it from both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, people don't
But then there was
understand.
tribal things, wasn't there? Like my dad's African.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Right.
It
And
swings
he would
around.
be saying, he'd be saying like, don't mix with the sugar cane.
Yeah.
Right, what?
Yeah.
But that was a tribal thing,
Yeah.
right? We obviously did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And we sort of broke down that barrier. Right?
I think we did.
And in the end, Carmen Smith used to come to our house. Right? So my dad had broke down the barrier as well all the time. Right? So there was different prejudices, right, from different groups.
Yeah.
I felt it when I've been in Ghana.
Yeah. Yeah, you're foreign in Jamaica, you're foreign.
Yeah, well, I am white. They call me a brummie, which is
Oh, when
white.
I went to St Kitts and I went in a jewellery shop with my grandmother and she said, this is my granddaughter. And the woman said, how can she be? She's white. And my grandmother's face just dropped. I was so embarrassed.
Yeah, because of your
felt-
colour.
Yeah. No, she wasn't embarrassed of my colour, she was embarrassed of what the woman had said. But the woman was just being a bitch, basically.
It was the
But
disrespect in it.
yeah, really, it was so,
you're not.
but I was so shocked. I was just, you know, because it wasn't that long ago.
No. I go to Barbados and I'm white because I'm not dark.
Oh, when I went to Barbados,
Red skin.
Red skin.
Yeah.
black people couldn't sit in the hotel where we were sat.
Oh,
and I thought, I don't even want to fucking be here.
Yeah.
It's,
What's this about?
it's
crazy.
it's just this continual cycle of like hierarchy.
Yeah,
And
'cause I'm
even,
in
for
shades.
example, in shades.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, you were saying about you got it from both sides.
Yeah.
It's like from the white side, you're not white, but from the black side,
You're not black.
You're
Yeah.
not black.
Yeah.
But you get treated better because you're lighter. But that's not true.
No.
That's not true at all.
If I went somewhere out of the country, somewhere where there's no black people, they wouldn't say, they won't call me a mixed race, whatever. They call me a nigger.
Yeah.
So that's why it's not about forgetting who your parent is, like one of your parents is white. If I'm on the phone and someone asks me what colour I am, I would say black. If they said to me on the phone, what's your heritage, then I would say I'm mixed, my mum was white, my dad was black. So there's always there's different times in there.
Somebody asked me that on the phone, I said, what the fuck's this?
Well, no, I'm just saying that if I had reason. If I had reason to ask it. And obviously, what I'm talking about, well, it could be a reason for it. I'm just giving you doesn't mean that.
Do you know what I
If someone
just
asks
do
me
is-
that over the phone, well, obviously, if they ask me, I'm just telling you that's how it is. I
That's
wouldn't
how-
say I was
that's what
black.
you
I wouldn't
would
say,
identify.
oh, by the way, no, I'm mixed, my mum was white. I wouldn't say all that.
Oh, I
Because-
do.
No, because if I'm in the street, I'm just not very half-casty then. But it's not because I think, oh, I'm black. It doesn't. That's not what I'm trying to say. But if I was walking in the streets somewhere where there's no black people at all, they're not going to say that. They're going to go, there's a nigger.
Yeah.
So I can feel the same as a full black person because they're still calling me a nigger. They're not going, oh, you're something else because your mum was white. You know
When
what
I was in Barbados, I was classed as a white person.
Yeah. So
It's like skin
right.
Really
Yeah.
offended me. It's like, I'm not white.
Yeah.
I'm my own, do you know what I mean, person. I'm not black, I'm not white. But it offended me to just be put in a category like that.
It's offensive because she's telling you
Yeah,
what you
who I
are.
am. Yeah, I'm what, yeah. Exactly.
It's like these forms you get, you know,
I hate it.
you know, when you've got to tick, or you don't have to tick, you know, the tick
Yeah,
boxes.
well,
Are you white African,
Yeah, I don't-
white Jamaican,
White other.
A million things now.
Yeah, we only used to be other.
Yeah.
But
it's
now we
white,
do get the
white
choice.
African,
Yeah.
white Jamaican.
Yeah,
Why,
we're very lucky
why,
now.
Of everything.
why is the information there? What do they want it for? You're a human being at the end of the day, right? Regardless of your colour. Right, so what's the information for?
They say it's
To
for you
categorise you.
Yeah.
That's all it's for.
Yeah. Say that we'll get more chance of getting jobs because they know how many black people it's now.
What a load of
Black.
bunkum.
I'm not having a
But to bring it back to the Reno then.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a good idea because it actually makes you think more about what it is that you want to tell people when they walk through the door. What do you want them to see? And you want them to see everything. You don't want them to see I'm mixed race.
Yeah.
If you wanted to put half-caste,
Yeah.
that's what it is that you're identifying.
That was our
You
word.
can have a conversation about it with people
Yeah.
who
I was
go,
born
you
it
can't
and I
see
was
that.
dying.
It's been interesting as well for me because I've had my eyes open to other sorts of views here, the different, like from your eyes, where you became political and where you felt your strength came from. Like for the girls here, what they seen at different stages, me knowing them, and then you still so much loving music, even though you don't go to the Reno. You know where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
It's within you. For me, it's opened up my eyes to how other people thought about the place. And what they're seeing in there and how different people's lives evolved. Because at the time as well, there was a stigma on some people of the drugs, the working girls, the pimps, all the things like that. There's a lot of people that have come out of that place and made such wonderful lives for themselves.
But there were people, the pimps, right, the working girls, the drug, right, We associated with all of them. We didn't label them.
No. Nobody looked down.
It was a
on
way.
them. Nobody looked on
A working
anybody.
girl went out and earned a wage.
And just look fucking fabulous when she comes back. No, didn't she? And her branding, we'd be like putting 10 pounds in.
So we didn't label them.
No.
We just accepted it as part of our life.
Is how long you've been in there, because the top table is for people who've been in there.
That's not even the longest, that's the different kind of hierarchy. That's not even the longest. That's how
bullish you were.
How,
So it wasn't like
that's an early place.
I'm not stopping it anymore. I'm going up there.
Oh, we made our way bit by bit every week.
I think we did 6 months by the time.
And I think that.
Still, weren't we?
I think that's a thing for the girls, because I can't remember guys thinking, right, I need to progress up to the top table. We'd walk in, I'd just sit wherever we wanted.
Well, it might have been a girl thing.
And the fact that we were kids as well.
Yeah. We were 16 and 17.
We're not talking about
And that
rational
was the
thinking.
And those things matter.
And shyness.
Yeah.
But certain records, we'd be down there taking the piss. We were shy, but every fucker that came in, we'd take the piss out.
In the corner.
But then certain tunes would drive us to the dance floor, wouldn't it?
We got to the dance floor, then it's like,
Yeah.
right, well, I'm staying up there now.
Yeah.
In fact, when we come in tonight, we're going to stand over there.
Yeah.
Well, it's 7:30 now.
Was it tea time?
It's tea time. When we come back,
Oh dear.
When we come back, we're going to look at doing the
I did
the work.
think
last week,
we
that
could
was
take
great.
one of those tables down, and then I could do it so that people can have a cup of tea and coffee and then go for a cigarette.
Yeah, we liked it down there.
Yeah.
That was good.
Well, I haven't got a table, but if I
Come on then, we'll help you.